What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek,
And I'm Kevin.
and we're last week's album. We're bringing you two opinions on the best new music, and this week we're talking about Fresh Blood by Matthew E. White. And we're asking the question, how does his sophomore album compare to his critically acclaimed debut? But before we go any further, we're going to start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Kevin, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
All right, so Matthew E. White is a songwriter, producer, arranger, and founder of Space Bum Records, based in Richmond, Virginia. And as I alluded to earlier in the question we're going to be discussing, Fresh Blood is his sophomore album and follows Big Inner, his 2012 debut. He started out as a jazz composer, arranger, and in Richmond, he started bringing together a whole bunch of local talented musicians and kind of formed a Motown-style backing band that has been the backbone of his album and other Space Bomb releases. It should be mentioned that he did produce Natalie Prass's debut album, which Kevin and I reviewed here at last week's album, and it was fantastic. So, without further ado, let's talk about what it sounds like. Kevin, what did you think?
Derek, I think that Fresh Blood sounds like the chill surf vibes of Jack Johnson set sail with the upbeat soul of Marvin Gaye. What do you think?
Nice. All right. I think Fresh Blood sounds like hushed, intimate vocals of Iron Wine or Bon Iver, accompanied by a revolving door of soul, R&B, and rock sounds. So there you have it. So for key tracks, Kevin, what did you have?
I'm going with number 3, which is called Fruit Trees.
That's a good one. I'm actually going with the one right before that, Rock and Roll is Cold. So as a second track, I'll kick us off. This also happens to be the first single. And as far as sound, it's really chilled, laid back R&B groove here. There's a chorus of warm ooh-la-las, galloping drums, piano, subtle horns in the background. And the lyrics here I really enjoyed. Seems like he's just taking digs on, the entire modern music landscape, some of the over-categorization, rigidity of genres, critics, not us, of course, etc. In the chorus, I really enjoy my. He kind of builds momentum, saying everybody likes to talk, but then the pendulum shifts the other way, and he says everybody likes to talk shit. So just really a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Great first single. Kevin, why don't you tell us about Fruit Trees?
Sure. Fruit Trees is a really sort of trippy, fun track overall. There's really chill verses that give way to this, what I'm calling a woozy chorus. We get fun falsetto vocals, plodding drums, smooth strings, grooving bass, layered voices, just really layering on the arrangements here, which I think is sort of a hallmark of the album. And overall, just creating this smooth, fresh R&B sound that you really can't help but tap your foot to, as long as you've got fresh blood pumping through your veins. So definitely check that one out, Fruit Trees.
Kind of a small prerequisite, but I like it. Yeah, that was a great track. So that brings us to Best Lyric. Kevin, why don't you start us off?
Sure. I'm going to go with a line from Holy Moly, and he says, "Fuck 'em all. Love is home. Home is love. Love is all." He kind of dances the line a lot with his lyrical delivery between earnest and tongue-in-cheek, which is really fun to sort of figure out which one he's vibing towards. And I also really dig the nonchalant way he mutters a lot of curse words throughout this album, but it's always so smooth and subtle that you don't even notice. It's like they're nothing, and I don't know, I just find that really enjoyable. So that's what I'm digging. What about you, Derek?
Subtle cuss words. Subtle cuss words. Unfortunately, my best lyric does not have any curse words, subtle or otherwise. This is like almost a complete opposite of some of those type lyrics, but this one comes from a track called Feeling Good is Good Enough. And he says, "Oh, I want to see you this morning. I want to see your beautiful lashes opening. Just nice little couplet there, but really just beautiful phrase. And no, subtle curses. So that brings us to overall rating. And the big question: how does Fresh Blood compare to his debut album, Big Inner? And Kevin, I'm going to put you on the spot. Why don't you tell us what you think?
All right. Overall rating, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. There's something super sweet about this whole album. It's very charming and heartwarming. Only faults I can find, not the deepest lyrics, but the music is sort of so emotional that I'll forgive that. And also I found the second half kind of started to drag, but really started to groove back up with Vision in particular. So overall, a really, really well done sophomore album. How does it compare to his debut? I think these are bigger, bolder arrangements, less country, a lot more soul, less experimental and raw, and he sort of smoothed out a lot of the rough edges, and I think I like this one better for it. I read an interesting quote. He said, "For me, it's about making records that are better than the ones before. It's not about making records that are different," which is kind of the opposite of what you normally hear, but I appreciate that, and overall, I do think this one is a better record. So, what do you think, Derek?
Kevin, I'm gonna agree with you on a lot of points. I totally think more betterness overall compared to Big Inner. I'm actually gonna go 4 out of 5 as well on this. I was really teetering between 4 and 5 there. I guess there might not be too much lyrical potency, but I thought at times, there were some tracks such as Tranquility, kind of talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Holy Moly, which you selected one from for best lyric. I thought there were some really good ones. I really like what you mentioned about the the subtle curse words, because even the one I kind of dropped from Rock and Roll is Cold, when he delivers it, it's almost like a shh, just kind of back away, hush almost type delivery, which is fantastic. Relatively broad range of sounds, which I really enjoyed. Nothing ever really felt forced or out of place. And I really just kind of dug, his predominantly hushed vocal sound, against these huge arrangements. So overall, I thought it was very strong, and, onwards and upwards. So there you have it, 4 out of 5 from both Kevin and I, so that's an 8 out of 10. So that means you should really go check out Fresh Blood, assuming you have fresh blood pumping through you to go venture out and listen to that. Thanks again for joining us here at last week's album. We're bringing you 2 opinions on the best new music. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at last week's album. And join us again next week, where we're going to continue bringing you 2 opinions on best new music. And until next time, I'm Derek.
And I'm Kevin. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.